Sorry I keep getting cut off. I apologize. My idiot cousin keeps calling me, fucking my shit up. 'Cause he's a fucking idiot. I'm trying to give a salute to one of the greatest motherfuckers ever walked the planet, and my fucking cousin keeps ruining shit. So that's not cool. I'm not trying to get all sentimental and shit and get all heartfelt, but he truly was one of a kind. Everybody says that about their friends and shit because I know him, but the guy was one of a kind, and he'll be missed every day by me and by a lot of people that I know. Not a day goes by that I don't think of some of the crazy shit that he did. I remember one time we fucking went to McDonald's late night, and he ordered 3 double cheeseburgers, some 99-cent double cheeseburgers, and we're sitting in the drive-in, and we had a few beers in us. We might have smoked a little bit. He has no pickles. He told him 3 times, don't put no pickles on there. He gets the burger, he opens one up, takes a bite. He's like, God damn it, there's pickles in there. And I was like, oh shit. So he opens the other one, he takes a big fucking bite out of that one. There's pickles on this one too. Opens the third one, takes another fucking big bite out of the third one. He's like, spits that shit out too, wraps them all up, puts them in the bag. He's like, I'm going in there, I want new burgers. So he's a big old bite out of each burger. He takes it back in there. He goes in. I don't know what he's doing. He's yelling, trying to get burgers out of him, blah, blah. He told me that they say, sir, you've eaten each one of these burgers you've taken big bites out of. And he was like, I asked for no pickles. I told you, motherfuckers, no pickles. And you still put pickles on them. And he comes out, comes out pretty fast, gets in the car, and we start driving. I was like, what happened? He's like, she told me if I didn't leave, she was calling the cops. We gotta go. And I don't ever know what he said to her, but I mean, that was just a fucking kid, man. Craziness. But everybody says that shit. There's nobody like him. There was, it wasn't. He's one of a kind, but I mean, he really was one of a kind, and no one could even come close to matching Jesse's just character. I mean, he had his own language, he had his own style, his own everything. That's when I say one of a kind. He wasn't one to really follow. He was one to make his own path, and he taught me a lot. Just when I was younger and growing up, and I was kind of heavier set and made fun of, and I mean, everybody was always cool with me, but I was still the kind of the weak one and the chubby kid, and that was that. Jesse was one of those people that he taught me. He was just like, dude, you're a big dude. Stand up for yourself. Stand back. Don't take that shit. Stand up for yourself. He's like, you're tough. Show them what you can do. And, that gave me a lot more confidence in myself, and that I owe that to him. There's a few other people I owe that to too, but he was one of those people who was like, you're a tough guy, why don't you show him why you gotta, let him pick on you, why you gotta do that shit. And, I'll never forget that. I can't, he taught me that. And that's important. I think a lot of people need to still learn that. You gotta stand your ground. You gotta stand up for what you believe in. If you just stand there and watch it happen all the time, then, you're one of them. You gotta know when to fight your battles and when to walk away and just let it go. There's a big difference. There's some battles that you gotta fight. And you gotta stand your ground. But, so that kind of changed me as a person. So, he had something to do with me changing. And after that, meeting him and some of the other people I met, Dusty Gurley and Johnny Pelton, certain people, that kind of shaped who I was, that changed me. But that wasn't, it made me see things a little more real, and it like I said, it taught me to have confidence in myself and believe in myself, and realize what I could do and what I was capable of. And wrestling had a lot to do with that too. But Jesse definitely, gave me that confidence. And if I couldn't handle it, well, I knew Jesse had, If it came on, he'd let it hang on my shoulders, and if I couldn't handle it, well, at least he was there, and he'd finish it all up. So I didn't really worry. But when I say one of a kind and a heart of gold, and if you meant something to him, he would give you the shirt off his back. He really would. If you mattered to him, it was, you knew it, and anybody I ever introduced him to, he's hard to forget. He's one of a kind, and we all have our own demons that we fight and we face every day. And they all come in different shapes and sizes. Different things, but we all have to face them. And it's how you react to them is how, your life turns out. I believe that. We're going to get into more. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to play a couple more songs, which usually for the RowdCast, I don't usually do too much music, but just a few tribute songs, songs that it meant a lot to him and it meant a lot to me and him. So, I see people are talking live on Spreaker.com at the chat. So it's live. You can chat with me on there. You can hit me up on Twitter. It's Rowdy MMA Fan. You can always hit me up on Facebook too. It's hard to look at Facebook though when I'm live. And it's nice to hear yours too, Aaron. It's crazy that it's been 2 years and it's, things happen and things go so fast and time goes by so fast, and the older you get, really, you always heard old people say it, the older you get, the faster time flies, and it's starting to become scary true. Scarily, I tried to make scarily a word. That's fucking the joke. But you know what I'm saying. The older you get, it starts to go faster and faster and faster and faster. And I mean, I feel like just yesterday me and him were hanging out and we were shooting guns and riding the golf cart around and catching fish and fucking causing chaos. Jesse hated fucking pickles. That is the truth. But he is the man, and I got to salute to him. And we're going to jam another one. Another one of his favorite jams. That was the used Blue and Yellow. Someone said they could hear me lighting candles in the background while I was listening to that song. No, that's not true. That was not true. I was just lighting candles. Rowdy's got to be chewing on his toy because he wants to be famous. So he's trying to fucking get all up in my shit, chewing on a squeaky toy. Yep, he's a fucking star right here. Got to be right over my shoulder. He knows what's up. Rowdy, get out of here. But, I remember every day I'd work the construction, working with my dad, and he'd be working at the plantation, and I'd come by, and I'd pick him up, and we were 15, 16 years old. We just got our license. And I'd come pick him up in my car, and we'd go get a 12-pack of beer, and we'd cruise out the back roads, and we'd roll up a fatty, and we just cruise, and we put on the Used, and we listen to Used every day. This Used album, the self-titled album, the first one, and we just jammed to that album and smoked fucking dope and drink our 12. Sometimes we'd get 2 6-pack of tall boys for each of us. And 2-3 hours we'd cruise and we'd kill all those. And I'd drop Jesse off and I'd drive home. And we did that like every night, every weeknight of the summer. For 2 years in a row, that was a ritual, man. That's what we did. Again, Bud heavy, man. It had to be that Bud heavy. Wasn't drinking nothing but it. It's a king of beers. But he, I wish, you think about him if you knew him or you know him, you think about him and yeah. When that was one of the best. Him and Ross were the best at that kind of shit. It was like an awkward silence. We had like a high school assembly and we had this motivational speaker that came in that was supposed to speak to all of us, and the very beginning of it, they got everybody to be quiet, and it was the whole gymnasium was quiet, and Jesse was like, "Fag," and dude straight up called him out in front of everyone. It was like, "Stand up, sir." And it was called him out like out of all the chances, made him stand up, took him there and got suspended for it. It's just, this shit that me and him would do was just absurd. It really was. It was, we were young and we were having fun. And I remember one time going into, they used to have the old railroad dorms where the railroads would stay before it turned into they actually turned into a restaurant, and we found out before anybody else. And we used to eat out there when we were drunk. Sometimes they would tell us they weren't serving the public, they were only serving the railroad people. And we get all mad, especially when we were really hungry. One time I remember Jesse we were just causing chaos. They told us they weren't going to serve us that night. And I remember Jesse walking over, grabbing this sugar shaker. He turned around and he was like, "Oh yeah? Like, we're not serving public tonight, sir." And he took it and he just smashed it on the ground. He's like, "Well, that's how it happened." And we just booked out of there, jumped in the car and took off. And we were banned forever, supposedly, even though we ate there like 3 weeks later. It was, we were caused chaos, man. We were little hoodlums, but, when he came into a room, like, he just lit up the room. He was for one thing, he's so loud. He's the loudest kid. There's no one louder than Jesse Stevens. There was no one, that bring that energy. And I remember another time it was me and him. If you ever needed someone to have your back, if someone was about to go down and you turned around, the one person that would be there was Jesse Stevens, because he had already heard the ruckus. And when he heard the ruckus, he was already there paying attention. And by the time he went to turn around, he was already ready to go. And that's just the kind of kid he was. Like, but I remember being at a keg party, and there's all these kids, and they're from Norwalk or Fremont or something, and we were all from Bellevue, and we were in Bowling Green. And I didn't know any of these kids. I've been going Bowling Green for like 3 years, so. But we're in line in this keg, and this kid comes up, and I don't know exactly what he did something. He like cut in line, or he was talking shit to Jesse or something. He was talking shit to all of us. Some Mexican kid, and he just kept talking shit and acting so tough, and he like pushed Jesse out of the way and went in front of him and stuff in the line. And I mean, if you knew Jesse Stevens, there's one thing you don't do: you don't cut in front of him in the keg line. You know, you just don't do it. And he pushed him, and he grabbed him, and he grabbed his shirt, and he just headbutted him right in the nose. And you know, you see that shit in the movies and shit where it actually works. You know, and grab him and headbutt him in the face, and it hurts him. I mean, he straight up did it. Kid was wobbled back, come through a haymaker, and Jesse was out of the way, and the haymaker hit me right in the face. Dude just fucking cold cocked me out of nowhere. Jesse just dodged out, and he cold cocked me with a good one. And I was so pissed. And when he hit me, I was so pissed at the kid. But I also wanted to punch Jesse in the face, too. Because he straight up fucking... he straight up stepped to the side, and the kid fucking haymakered me right in the face because he headbutted him. I wonder, I went after the kid, but in my back of my mind, I was like, Jesse, I want to punch you. I mean, there's plenty of times where me and Jesse got into it, you know. Yeah, the kid could take some punishment, though, too. I mean, I seen him lose a couple fights, but he could take a beating. Yeah, glass or fucking granite chin. It was no deal, man. Pain was not a deal with Jesse. I got a hell of a pain tolerance, but so does he. I mean, this dude was like, he lived out in this awesome land, and he, rode around on a golf cart. I mean, he taught me how to shoot guns, like my first shotgun, my first rifle, I shot with him. That was a ritual, dude. We get up, and we'd smoke, we'd roll a big fat joint, we'd get on the fucking golf cart, roll around, smoke a fatty. It was like 10 in the morning, dude, with shotguns, and we just shoot birds and shoot squirrels and anything that was moving, we shot it. That's what we did. We were just young kids. The golf cart was so sweet. I remember we used to do like jackass shit, and I remember one time he had a party, his parents were gone, and we had some little party, and we were just all swimming and hanging out and drinking. And Jesse was, they were like, what you should do? You should stand on the golf cart on the top of it and hold on, and we're going to film it with the video camera like Jackass, and they're going to drive it to the water, and they're going to, you're going to launch off into the water. And I was like, all right, that sounds awesome. And we're like, all right, everyone's like, I want to drive. I was like, no, dude, I don't trust anybody to drive. I'll let Jesse drive. Because Jesse knows that golf cart. I was like, let him drive. So I get on it, and I'm trying to hold on, and he starts flooring it, and I'm, I'm flopping off the side of it and trying to get my bearings, and he spins to the side, and I go off to the side and fling off, but I don't get very far, and I kind of just hit it was probably 5 inches of water and just like sand and muck, and I just smack off the ground. And then they're all just laughing at me. I'm like, these motherfuckers, dude. God damn it. And then I remember Jesse laughing so fucking hard. I was so pissed. I trusted him to drive, and it was just a bad idea. But, it's, it's a shame. It's a shame that, somebody like that left, because he things got rough at the end, but he never really changed. He, even when everything wasn't the same, he still never really changed. He was still himself. He was just buried under there a little bit. And, a lot of people, when it gets to that, they totally change. And that's something, no matter where he was at, what state of mind he was in, he was always Jesse. And, he didn't let anything change him. He was, until the end, he was Jesse Stevens. And that's something I admire about him. I always admire that about him, but I know I shouldn't drive Jesse to drive the golf cart drunk. I know that now forever. You shouldn't trust me to drive it either drunk. I'm not the best. It's another song dedicated to the homie G from Rad Love. It's 4 a.m. by Our Lady Peace. And this song, I remember being down in Hocking Hills visiting one of our buddies, Burkhart. First time we ever went down to see him. Him and Johnny moved down there, and I remember riding in the back. We were riding through the woods and the hills and mountains of southern Ohio, and just smoking and checking out the area. And he showed me this song, and he's like, I'm almost positive. He looked at me and he said, when I die, make sure you play this song. And I was like, oh, you know it. I just happened to say it, but I remember that was the first time I ever heard the song, and ever since then, it's always stuck with me. It's always been one of my favorite songs, and after he left, it meant even more to me, so there you go.
Walked around my good intentions and found that there were none. I blame my father for the wasted years. We hardly talked, never thought I would forget this hate. Then a phone call made me realize I'm wrong. Make it know that I've loved you all along, just like sunny days that we ignore because we're all dumb and cheated. And crowd.
That was Our Lady Peace with 4 a.m. That's just a moving song for me. You know, it means a lot. It has a lot to do with it. You know, I wouldn't dedicate anything to anyone. You know, just, you know, it wouldn't just be anybody to do this for. You know, it's somebody that meant a whole lot to me and taught me a lot, and that's why I dedicate a whole RowdCast to him. You know, I miss him, and I'm sure there's people, you know, most people out there, there's someone that you truly miss, you know. And, you know, I've talked about it many times on here. I always say, you know, there's two things that are going to happen on this earth, and you're going to live and you're going to die. That's guaranteed. Those are the only two things. Other than that, you know, anything could happen in between, but you got to live and you got to die. It's kind of part of human life. But I've never really went into either side, you know. Nothing about birth and life, and nothing about death. And I think it's a good time to go and talk about death and how I deal with death. And it's part of all of our lives. Like I said, there's someone probably that their lives ended and you miss them a lot. And everybody's going to deal with death differently and grieve differently. That's part of life. But everybody reacts to everything differently. So something that you could get over in a week could take some other person a year. And, you know, on something, another topic, the same person could take them a week and it could take you a year. I mean, that's really what it equals out to. Everybody views everything differently. But death is not easy. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to deal with in your life, and when you lose somebody that means so much to you, it's hard to get over. And I think what I'm starting to realize with my friend's death is that certain people aren't supposed to, you're not ever supposed to really get over them. They're with you. You know, I feel him with me. And it'll sound creepy to say that, but I feel that way. Like, not that he's almost a part of me. There's a hat. This is a perfect time for me to tell this story. And if you believe in, passing on, or you believe in things like this, or ghosts, or it just happened to be, back at my parents' house. When we were younger, or whatever, he used to always wear this hat. It's an Oklahoma hat. And he'd always wear it, and always wear it in my house. And it's one of his work hats, and he left it there one time, and they got lost, and I moved, and, just a year and a half ago, I was home, and happened to be up talking to my brother in his room, talking to him or something, and I was visiting from Atlanta, and he pulled this hat out, and it was Jesse's old Oklahoma hat, and he pulled out the back of his closet. It just happened to be in my brother's room. He's like, oh, this was this one of your hats? I always wanted to know if you wanted it. I kept it because I thought it was one of yours. And I was like, really? I was like, dude, that's Jesse's hat. Give me it. He's like, you want it? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, cool. And like right then, dude, I don't know, that hat meant something to me. And so I took it and I put it up in my windowsill. It just kind of sits on the corner of my windowsill, and it's sat there ever since I moved down here. And I've always hung it up. And that's where it's sat since I moved in here. Radley's going crazy. I've hung it up there and it's been there forever. And then I got my puppy. I got Rowdy, and lately it hasn't been as much since the last month or so. But before that, at least a couple times a month he goes in there in the dark and he just growls. He gets he starts acting all crazy and growls and. At the hat that hangs there in the corner, and it's really creepy, but it makes me feel like there's something going on beyond this world, and maybe not, maybe it's just my dog, the hat creeps him out or something, but it's really weird, and it's happened way too many times that it's, kind of crazy, so... Maybe, in a different life, or he's still saying what's up, but I just feel that he's with me, and I feel like, I got to carry on his tradition or his life, because I knew him, and I knew he was a great person, and not everybody got to know him the way that I got to know him, so I feel like it's, it is how it is. And we all choose our own paths, and we all walk them differently. And, he was a great dude. He walked his own path, and he was a tough guy, but he had a heart of gold. And the world sucks. It could be just a little bit greater if he was still here with us, and it sucks that a lot of people will never get to meet him. And I'll never forget him, and y'all have to handle that death however you need to. You need to take as long as you need to mourn somebody, or spend this much time alone to get over it, but you have to get through it. Life has to continue, and like I said, I feel like you have to live on for that person, and because that's what they'd want, and he wanted to continue living his life, and he had things that he wanted to do, and there's a lot of people that we lose like that. He had a lot of life to live still, and there's so many people that die at such a young age, and it's heartbreaking. All the things we talked about, and getting older, and doing this and doing that, and having kids, and growing up together, and doing that, and it'll never happen. Something I just expected, I took for granted. don't ever take it for granted. Every day you have somebody in your life, don't take it for granted. But enjoy life and don't regret anything either. I mean, that's how we've always lived. Live your life to the fullest and do what you gotta do. We're all have our own demons. We all have our own things to get over. And it's about being strong, physically and mentally. And working together to overcome things. So, you have strong people around you, you're going to be a really strong person. Don't forget it. And if you got to know Jesse and you were good friends with Jesse, you know exactly what I meant. It's hard for, I'm sure, people that never met him or have no idea what I'm talking about. It's probably hard to understand what I'm saying. But if you did know him, this kind of more was a little personal thing for me. Then you should feel what I'm saying. Miss him. I miss him a whole lot, and I wish, just bullshit with him one more time. Go out shooting the guns one more time. But that can't happen. He lives on all the people that knew him and respected him and that he had respect for. So, I got thousands of stories to tell you about the kid. I got one last song, and then I'm going to close it down, but hang with me, okay?
Never shame but never free. A life that healed the broken heart with all that it could. Lived a life so endlessly, saw beyond what others see. I tried to heal your broken heart with all that I could. Will you stay? Will you stay away forever? How do I live without the ones I love? Time still turns the pages of the book, it's burned. Place and time always on my mind.
I was avenged sevenfold, so far away. So I end the RowdCast like this. I know this was, a little more heart-to-heart one, but it's the anniversary of one of my best friend's death, so I had to do something special for it. And the thing that it's been in the back of my mind, and that this date was coming up, and I knew it was coming up, and I just started doing the podcast, and I was like, I'll do something for his birthday, or for his date of death, when he died. That's special that he's honored in some way, forever, as much as I can. And I want to say, anybody that was listening, thank you for listening. I hope I didn't make you sad or anything, because I was really trying to live on, let him live on through me. And I just feel lucky to know him and what he was about. And anyone that didn't, you missed out on a great person. And but we all got to deal with it differently. We all got to, be strong and keep on keeping on, And that's what he'd want, and that's what he'd do. I love him. So, rest in peace, JWS. We miss you. There's a lot of us that miss you. And I know you're there. I feel you. This has been Rowdy Ready Rattle Off with the RowdCast. I'm out. Be good. Peace.